Okay, hi guys. Hello, hello. Okay, we're going to talk about post-traumatic stress disorder today. What is it? Post-traumatic stress disorder is from a separation of the spirit from the body. Okay, this is just going to have to do. I keep trying to get this lighting done correctly. I cannot get it done, so now I was only going to do a few more videos, and but I'm going to add this post-traumatic stress disorder I'm going to talk about. And then I'm also going to talk about sleep paralysis and how to fix that. Okay, I won't do it in this video because it's going to take me a little bit of time. Okay, what is post-traumatic stress disorder? Post-traumatic stress disorder is a separation of the spirit. Now, this is your good spirit that comes in through a portal right here. I forgot to turn up my volume, so let's just do this real quick. Okay. So, what is post-traumatic stress disorder? Post-traumatic stress disorder is a separation of the spirit. This is your good spirit that is supposed to be in this body. Your spirit looks just like the body, just like your body. Okay? This little guy right here is a bad spirit, and he wants to come in this portal. He wants to run the show. Okay? There are a lot of things that happen with post-traumatic stress disorder, and a lot of symptoms. Now, for children, if they've been jabbed, okay, not with the new jabby that's out, but even just the childhood immunizations, which my kids got, and I'm seeing the consequences of that right now. Because what those chemicals do, now you can have PTSD. You can have PTSD without using chemicals. This separation of the spirit from the body happens during trauma, during abuse. Now, this is why our good spirits take on the body, okay, so that we can experience what's going on, so we can get through the duality world where we can experience bad before we go up to the higher dimensions. And if we don't, and I've talked about this in another video, if we don't make it through this process, we will be one of these guys or a reptilian demon, honest. I'm not going to get into that too much. But okay. Now, this is your spirit. Your spirit's supposed to be in your body. Okay. When you've been jabbed, or you've drank alcohol, or you've been on pharmaceuticals, or even with these towers that are up right now, okay, the body doesn't vibrate properly. Okay, the body doesn't vibrate properly, so the spirit can't stay in the body. And this creates post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder is anxiety. It can turn into depression. It's a lot of symptoms. Okay, if you have post-traumatic stress disorder, you know what I'm talking about. Now, I have it. Mine was from trauma. I think I only got one jabby when I was a kid. I missed the one that puts that big mark on your arm. So I think I was saved by the bell with that one. I don't know whether my mom missed it or what, but other people my age have it. Anyway, so what happens is the spirit is separated from the body. This spirit supposed to be in your body. Okay, right there. Comes right through this portal and supposed to be in the body. This spirit manages your energy centers. Now, if you want to go back to other videos, I've drawn it out where we have energy centers. We call PowerPoints, if you will. That your good spirit comes into the body and manages that energy. Okay, our bodies are just bodies. I mean, they're beautiful, beautifully made, beautifully designed. But this is a vessel to hold the spirit. Now, when I talk about trauma, I talk about the separation of the spirit from the body. PTSD are symptoms that happen when the spirit has not been in the body. Now, depending on how young you were when your spirit was separated from your body, will depend on what kind of symptoms you have. Now, because we are energy and everything's energy, when the spirit can't come into the body, when the spirit's not in the body to manage those energy centers, bad spirits come into the body. Their job is to manipulate the energy, get you upset, get you jealous, angry, depressed, all of these things, okay? Because they can't feed on the good energy. Your spirit comes in here and manipulates the energy to keep you well energetically. Now, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, are symptoms that happen because the spirit is not in the body. Now, I didn't get to finish this, but when the spirit is not in the body, there are pathways, energy pathways. Just like there's an energy pathway, a normal energy pathway that the body was designed to function is when the spirit comes into the body, and then when you go to sleep, your spirit leaves the body. There's a pathway there, an energy pathway. Now, when the spirit's separated from the body, these guys come in. All right? They come in, manipulate the energy. So say if, depending on what your symptoms will be, is how young that separation happened. If you've been jabbed, just the regular childhood immunizations, then it happened very young. Okay, so these guys, when that separation happened, these guys come in, they hook into your energy centers, and they feed on that energy. Okay, what happens? The consequence of not having the spirit in the body is what PTSD is. They're symptoms of an energy problem. Now, all of our pharmaceuticals, well, look, I know people who take blood pressure meds and things like that, and I don't know that they have the issue with the separation so much. But the pain medicine and these mental health drugs and all of these things prevent the spirit from being able to come back into the body so it can heal. Now, just as there's a pathway for your spirit to come in and out of your body, okay, your spirit also manages all these other energy centers inside the body. Now, like concentration, I'll give an example of this. I have PTSD, and my concentration, I can get off balance. I can get overwhelmed pretty easy. That's PTSD. Now, why did that happen to me? I was young when the trauma happened to me. So it was 9 years old. From 9 years old on, my spirit was stuck. My spirit was not in my body. She would come back in a little bit, and that's when this guy right here would get me off balance. Or many of these can be in the body. That's when this guy would get me off balance so that they could take over the body. Now, because the spirit is, okay, let's say they're sitting, let's say your spirit's sitting in a seat. And this guy's in there first. Well, you can't quite get in that seat. You can sit on top of this guy, you can scoot this guy over, but you're never really in the seat by yourself to be able to manage the energy. Now, that creates PTSD. That means that those pathways in the body that should have matured along with the body are dysfunctional. Okay, so you can't handle stress. You have anxiety. A lot of these young children are having a really hard time. And then, of course, they tell you to take the child to the doctor. I'll give you an example. My daughter had some issues when she was young. Okay, I did vaccinate my children. Okay, so she had problems. I had taken her, she was throwing a fit one day, and I took her to the hospital because I kept telling her, if you don't stop, I took her to the ER. I said, if you don't stop, I'm going to take you to the doctor. Okay, she just wouldn't stop. We were fighting. She was young. Now, when I took her to the doctor looked at me and says, well, who's her psychiatrist? And I said, she doesn't have a psychiatrist. I thought, oh my gosh, no, this is not a mental problem. Well, I didn't know that at the time, but this had happened to her. The separation of the spirit from the body, and then one of these guys came in. Now, they want mayhem. They can't feed on anything good. They can't feed on love, can't feed on joy, can't feed on anything other than bad energy. That's why they create problems in your life. That's why they try so hard to get you off balance so that they can take over the body. Now, the pharmaceuticals, now PTSD is just one of these things, okay? There are many, many, many diseases. They even have what they call CPTSD, complex, I think it's called complex post-traumatic stress disorder. You know what? Honestly, in my opinion, I think that's just many demons in the body that are causing havoc. And like I said in my last video, these guys work together, okay? Say a bad spirit of anger will start working in the body. Okay, and you revisit that thought and revisit that thought and revisit that thought. And say anger. So the bad guy of anger, now the bad guy of anger will get the bad guy of gluttony. Okay, maybe you're an alcoholic. The bad guy of gluttony to take over the body. They work together. Okay, they are really smart that way. One of these days we're going to get it. You know, I talk about these bad guys being so smart. They are smart because they have to lie, cheat, and steal to get everything out of our bodies. They've got to manipulate you, control you, lie to you, get you to do bad things so that they can feed. Now, the symptoms for PTSD, the anxiety and all of the, you can look those up. Not being able to concentrate. Yeah, basically anxiety is most of it. Okay. Now, and unable to get off balance. You have to really, for me, I'll give you an example. For me, my PTSD, I have to make sure that I can't be around people who are scandalous, okay? Because they stress me out. I can't handle the stress. It knocks me off balance. I can't handle being around a liar. I can't handle being around a thief. I can't handle it. It's just, it stresses me out and I can't handle it. I can't handle the stress. So I choose not to do that. Now, when the spirit is separated from the body, those little pathways in the body, let's say we'll do it this way. We'll make it purple. Okay, so say, energetically speaking, you have a pathway that goes from the brain, okay, we'll say brain, goes down here and into the arm. Okay, and from the arm it'll go into the feet. Okay, these are pathways for the energy. And then of course you have your energy centers in the body. Now these are pathways. When the spirit is in the body like it's supposed to be, those pathways develop properly the way they're supposed to. So the body can handle more stress. When the spirit is not in the body, not able to get into the seat, like I just gave you an example on that, just unable to just secure themselves in the seat, these guys come in. So they work really well with the dysfunction. So this is a pathway, this purple is a pathway, the way it's supposed to be. Now, when these guys are in charge, they will make the pathway like this, okay? Because that's dysfunctional. They can feed on the energy that way. Okay, so what happens is when the spirit's not in the body, say from early on, because of the jabby jabs, the energy centers don't look normal. I mean, the energy pathways throughout the body that would have been developed as the body got older, that because the spirit would have been in there managing those energy centers. But because the spirit was not in there, and those pathways were built by this guy, they're dysfunctional. Okay? That's what causes you to get out of balance. Okay? Now, pharmaceutical means witchcraft by poison. If you've had a separation of the spirit from the body and you go to get on pharmaceuticals, say, I could never take them, and I'm really glad I could never take them. So I've seen people who are on pharmaceuticals who can't ever get off of them. I mean, say for like depression, let's just use Paxil as an example. Because whether it be a narcotic, whether it be any of these pharmaceuticals, because pharmaceutical means witchcraft by poison. Pharmaceutical means sorcery. So the scientists that developed those drugs knew exactly what they were doing. And because your spirit can't get back in the body while you're on those chemicals. Just like if you're on alcohol, the spirit will leave the body. Okay. Anytime, because these guys are opportunistic, anytime that the spirit is not in the body, they're already there. Okay. They can sense energy, they can see energy. And usually trauma is usually family. It comes from families. So now also, and I talked about this another day, I'm trying to stay focused here. Say your grandpa had PTSD. Maybe he went to war, which causes PTSD. Okay, because we're not supposed to be killing things like that. Okay, so say he went to war. Now, he sold his soul, or what have you. Say your great, 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 great grandpa sold his soul and turned into a demon. Well, the bad spirit, the demon, your great, 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 great grandpa, is going to try to take these bodies. Okay? These are two sides, good and evil. We have good and evil in us. That's why we come here, to fix that, to make a stand, decide who we are. Are we good or are we bad? Now, people make mistakes, we all do, and that's why we come here to learn. Okay. And it is hard for me to stand like this with my back, so I just have to lean on this thing. Okay, so what do you do about this? What do you do about PTSD? First, you have to make sure that you're not on chemicals. If there's a child with PTSD, do some grounding exercises. Teach them how to take their shoes off and walk in the ground. Let them go play in the dirt. Get them off all chemicals. And then learn how. Teach the children are so smart. They're so smart. They're smarter than we are. And they're most of them are more spiritually evolved than we are coming into this. They would have to be, because of what we're dealing with right now. So, if you have a child, or say yourself, and you're suffering from PTSD, please don't go get chemicals. That's not going to fix you. But what I would say to do is get your health back, get your health better, get off the sugar. I want to talk to you about sugar. White sugar, okay, just like they took plants, okay, just like, the bad guys can't patent an herb because it's Mother Nature. They can't patent it, but they can take it in a lab and tweak it, and then they can sell it to you. So all of the stuff they have, they've gotten from nature. All of the drugs they've gotten from nature, but they've tweaked it in such a way to keep your spirit out of your body, so these guys can run the show. Now, they did the same thing with white sugar. You can use sucanat. Sucanat is unprocessed sugar, okay? It's sugar cane, but it's not been put in the lab to where they made it harmful for you like they did white sugar. If you look around you and there are the majority of people heavy, it's because of the sugar. The sugar is highly addictive, and they made it that way on purpose. So if you have a child that's or yourself who got PTSD, just know what happened. The spirit was separated from the body at one time, whether it be the jabby jobs as young, whether they were abused, whether they went to war. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. The spirit was separated from the body, and then these guys come in. That's where the behavior problems come in. And these guys feed on fear. Okay, so they want to get you afraid. Now, let's talk about solutions. Solutions. Get off the sugar, the white sugar. If you can't, hold on. I've got my little kitty I've got to let in. She's been wanting in and out all day. So hang on one second. Okay, I'm back. Now, okay. What you need to do is get the body as healthy as you can. Avoid chemicals, avoid sugar. You know, the first thing we do, I did it, I did all of this. First thing we do when we take our child to go get dental work or something, we take them to go get ice cream because that's what we were told to do. I was. No, that's sugar. Okay, 1 teaspoon of white sugar will suppress the immune system for 3 hours. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for healthy things like sucanat. You can use sucanat as a sugar. You can use stevia. That's what I use. And I also just started using sucanat so that I could learn how to use these things. What I've been doing is I'm training myself how to make cheese and milk and yogurt and those kind, just because we're going to need these skills. When the grocery stores that sell all the poison food, they're going to go out, okay? We're going to have to take care of ourselves. So, or honey. Honey is fantastic for sweetener, and it's good for the body. So, what you would want to do, post-traumatic stress disorder, get off the sugar. First of all, get off the pharmaceuticals if you're on them. There are healthier alternatives. Okay, if you're having pain, and most of us do have pain because of the glyphosate on the food, which causes dysfunctional collagen, which is painful because our whole structure is collagen, okay, besides the bones. Now, you know what else? Okay, teach the kids, okay, or even adults. When I talk about the kids, I'm talking about adults too. They would love to watch a little plant grow. Teach them how to grow stuff. Teach them how to be one with nature. Teach them. You can teach them. Now, first of all, watch the diet. The diet's super, super important. And you can tell these guys to get out of the body, okay? After they're out of the body, and you can learn to ground. Now, tomorrow or sometime this week, I've got to get these videos done because I've got another project I have to work on. I've got to get myself together here. So the children can learn to tell those guys to leave. And then they can learn to communicate with their own spirit, okay? The children and adults too, you're going to have to do this with the towers that are out and everything else that's going on. You've got to learn how to do this. I'm going to, when I said tomorrow's video or what have you, I'm going to, whenever I can, I'm working on this to get this done. I'm going to do a real simple, in Trauma 5, I did a video teaching how to do some complex energy work. I'm going to do another video and make it real super simple, okay? Now, to teach you how to do this, how to do the grounding and pull your spirit in and evict the bad guys, I'm going to make it super simple to where you can get out of bed and you can do this. You can teach the children to do this. Okay. Now, this is what the PTSD is. Okay. So, say you get rid of this guy, all right? And your spirit has been out of the body for since your first vaccine, all right? Which could have been 2 years old, 6 months. Boy, they got us. So, the spirit can come back into the body, but these guys are hooked in to the energy centers. So, and I'll share the steps with you how to get rid of the energy inside the body so that you can keep them out. But, see this pathway, the healthy pathway? Okay, that's the way it's supposed to be. But because the spirit was separated out of the body when the pathways were developed, they're dysfunctional. Okay, that dysfunctional energy, those dysfunctional energy pathways cause the symptoms of PTSD. Now, that's why someone who has PTSD cannot get too stressed. They have to make sure, because it's more of an effort for the spirit to work with those energy pathways if the spirit has not been in the body the whole time, okay, your whole life. I know, mine wasn't. So, the more you do this, the more pathways you're going to build. You'll build healthy pathways, okay? And that will help with the PTSD. So, the next video I'm going to do, I may, anyways, I'm going to make it real simple on how to do this work, but you have to teach the children that they have a spirit that's supposed to be in their body. And if the spirit's, all this stuff, okay, look, if the spirit's not in the body, the bad guys are in the body. Period. That's the way it works. Because you see how this energy, I talked about this dysfunctional energy pathway. Anyways, I lost my train of thought again. I apologize. Anyways. Okay, by the time I get, I have to redo this lighting and everything. Every time I do a video, it's such a pain in the rear end. Oh, what I was going to say. Okay, I'm starting a program that will be for adults, similar to AA and NA and OA and all those. Fraud. They're fraud. Okay, I know that they didn't intentionally do that, people who started the programs and stuff. They thought they were doing the right thing, but John D. Rockefeller Jr. is the one who funded AA in the beginning. They called it a disease and said you would have to get out addiction, a disease, and said you would have to get outside help for that particular problem. They knew that this was no disease. They knew that bad spirits were causing all the alcoholism and all the drug addiction and all the overeating and all the PTSD. Okay, well, actually, PTSD are symptoms of dysfunctional pathways. Okay, if there wasn't a problem with the spirit being in the body, those pathways would have developed properly. Just like I said, there's a pathway for the spirit to come in and out of the body. Now, when there's been trauma, that pathway is compromised. So these pathways are compromised if the spirit's not in there to manage those energies. But it's okay. We can work this. So I'm going to start a program similar to AA, but we're going to talk about the truth. Okay, the truth is that this body right here is a vessel to hold the spirit. When that spirit's not in the body, for whatever reason, jabby jabs, trauma, alcohol, pharmaceuticals, what have you, these guys come in. Now, if either one of these aren't in the body, and say trauma, okay, like abuse, and actually this is what you need to do. Okay, so if your spirit's not in here and these guys are not in there, and you would implode on yourself. Your energy system would just fry. So they actually do us a favor. They have. And so when you release these guys, you thank them. Thank them for their service because they actually kept you alive. That's the truth. As dysfunctional as they are, they kept you alive, okay, managing your energy centers. So when you tell them to leave, thank them. Tell them that their service is no longer needed. You can't be angry at them because that's what they feed on. They love that. The minute you start getting angry at them, they're popping right back in. Okay. So now I'm going to start a program that's going to share the truth with steps, and I'm going to build communities. Because there is no, what I found? I found that the measure of a person right now is the size of their wallet. And that's how it was in my family, and that is wrong. No. Everybody every sentient being that's on this planet was put here for a reason, and they have every right to have peace and love and food and shelter and protection, every single one of them. And I don't care whether you're a homeless guy on the street or whether you live in a mansion, every single one of them. Okay, so the program I'm starting will be for everybody. I don't care what color you are. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what you've done in your life, bad or good even. Where money's not the catalyst that gets things moving. Well, we have to have it absolutely, and we will. But we'll start with the adult program first, and then we're going to start a program for the young ones. It'll be led by the children and chaperoned by an adult. But they have to learn this. They have to learn. If they're old enough to be murdered right now, and we are getting genocided, then they're old enough to know this. Okay, you've got to teach them the truth about things. Now, in the young person's program, we'll run it just like we do the adult program. But there are things that these children are going through that are just horrific. They need to be able to get it out. Not only that, these children have been raised by dysfunctional adults, okay, their whole lives. And I don't care who you are, what you've done, but if you have been well adapted to a very sick society, you've got issues, okay? We all have issues, all right? In my family, money was it, okay? So one side of my family, my dad's not like that. But anyways, so the next video, watch for the next video, and I will teach, okay, I'm going to teach really, really simple way to do this, to get the spirit back in the body, and that's what you need to do. But if you have PTSD, whether you're an adult or a child, you will have to be careful, okay, because depending on how long the spirit was out of the body will depend on how dysfunctional those energy pathways are. Now, and yeah, I'm not going to get into that. But okay, so that's what PTSD is. You teach the children how to ground. Okay, we've got to learn how to ground. So I'm going to just put this right here. We'll just do it that way. Okay, and we'll put a little grass on there. I'm not going to get into it. I've gone into this in other videos. In the next video I do, I'll put the steps. I'll make it super simple because I just went too deep. We can go deeper in the program. Okay, so let's say this is grass. All right, we have to teach the children, and we have to teach ourselves, and we have to do the work. Nobody can do this for you. You can assist even the children. Oh, let me say something. So you're going to want to ground. Where's my brown? Okay. And in the last video, one of the videos I did, I'm going to also with the videos, I just put trauma 1, trauma 2, trauma 3. I'm not trying to get flagged. This work's so important and get taken off. So look, you grow roots out of your feet. Okay. And there are crystals that can help you with this. I'm going to tell you. For a child, if you're really in a mess right now and you need some help for your child right away, go walking with them, get their shoes off, find a safe place where their little feet won't get hurt, and walk with them. And amethyst. Amethyst is a very pretty crystal. It helps with mood. And also, these bad guys don't like it. They used to make wine crafts out of amethyst that would prevent drunkenness. Why is that? Because these guys can't stand the vibration. These guys are energy. They have to twist the energy around to be able to use it, and they do not like amethyst. So that helps, and it also will help with anxiety and those kinds of things. I did have an amethyst. I thought I had it in my pocket. Okay, this right here. I don't know if you can see it, if you'll be able to see it, but anyways, it's just a little amethyst tumbled stone. Get one for your child, get one for yourself, and keep it with you. I forgot to put mine on today, but I wear Amethyst every day. The only time I take this off, I even wear it to sleep. The only time I take it off is when I'm showering. Okay? So it helps me. It helps me to keep the bad guys out of my body. It can help them too. So, all right, I just wanted to cover PTSD. Whatever your symptoms are, see, in the program for the children, it'll be age appropriate. Okay? I've already got one of the books almost completely done. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Almost done. That will be appropriate for the children to teach them how to do this. And then, of course, the other book for the adults. Now, we will illustrate all of this in the book, and we will teach each other. That's how we learn. We have to get back to love. We have to get back to um, being of service to each other. We didn't come here to get the new iPhone. We didn't come here to see if we can outbeat so and so buying whatever. That's not what we came here for. If you're watching this at all, okay, you are probably one of the volunteers that came here to teach. So you will learn what you need to learn here so you can fix yourself and then you'll help others. We can't do this alone. Right now, because of the COVID crap, we've been isolated. Because of addictions, we've been isolated. Let's talk about homeless real quick. I don't think the homeless ever thought that one day they'd be homeless, okay? I think that they have so much trauma in their lives and perhaps got addicted or whatever. But there's no junk here. We're all worthy. We're all beautiful. We all have something to do, something to teach, regardless of what it is. Okay, if you keep service in your mind, you'll be fine. All right, so PTSD is a group of symptoms that is caused by this dysfunctional energy pathway. Okay, now watch for the next video. I will put simplified steps or something like that in that video because I've covered all this in video 5. Not this particular, but the grounding exercises and stuff and the steps. Now, I'm going to redo that video, or at least I may just keep that other one up, but I'll make it super simple for you so everybody can do this and we can teach the kids because this is super important. Okay. Now, that's what post-traumatic stress disorder is, and pharmaceuticals make it worse because it further separates the spirit from the body. But you can get your spirit back into your body. The children can get their spirits back in their bodies, and these guys can be evicted. That's what needs to happen. All right. Watch for a few more videos, and then I'm done here. I have another project I have to work on that will give me, hopefully, will give me the resources I need to be able to get this program started and start communities. All right. Thanks. Much love to you guys.